right? I was when I started the industry, I used to work in a gym, and I used to do personal training. And there was a client that used to make me wake up. They used to pay me good money, so I used to wake up 5 a.m. for one client because they had to go. They had to train at 6 a.m. and then go to work. There was a lawyer, so they were paying me very good money. So I had to wake up. Most of my work started around 11, 12 o'clock, 11 a.m., 12 o'clock. So I had to wake up for one person every morning. Well, not every morning, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I remember waking up, man, I'm like, the only reason I'm waking up is because this person is paying me so well. But if I can live life on my terms and wake up when I want, that is the most exciting thing. So even when I joined the industry and I was waking up, because I was doing the business part-time, when I was waking up 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I was telling myself, man, there's going to be a time where I won't have to wake up at this time. There's going to be a time where I don't go on my phone. I don't even go, look, guys, I don't know how long it's been. It must be 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many years. I haven't put an alarm on my phone for years. And that was one of the biggest, how can I say it? Biggest inclinations when I was coming up in the industry, not because how many of you like your sleep? How many of you like to sleep when you want and wake up when you want? I'm sure many fathers or mothers in the room, in this call, really can relate when you have a child that gets taken away. You don't have an alarm, but you have like a baby, which is worse than an alarm clock. They're constantly waking you up. So I can tell you right now, that gratitude I get from being in the industry is massive. But this call today, look, guys, I want to thank Danish. Let's put some sevens in the chat for Danish. You guys do ones, put ones in the chat for Danish. Great guy. I've been, seeing his journey, seeing his growth. It's always good to see, he reminds me of a younger version of myself, starting up in the industry and in the market that he's in. You guys are doing great. Of course, I saw a lot of you guys from Germany in the event. You guys came in big numbers. But it's very important that doesn't matter how big the numbers are. What matters is what you are doing within those numbers. There could be 3,000 people. There could be 4,000 people in a room. But what makes you different? Because I'm here to tell you guys, those 3,000, 4,000, even 10,000, those 10,000 people that was in the room in Barcelona, not all are going to make it. Not even half are going to make it. So realize that the numbers and the statistics around this industry, it has to be dependent on what you do personally. So the first question I want you to ask yourself right now, if you're writing down notes, you can write this stuff down. First question I want you to ask yourself right now, right, is do I want my business to be better than what it is? That's probably a rhetorical question. Do I want my business to be better than what it is right now? I'm sure many of you would have put that and put yes next to it. Now, next to it, ask yourself this: am I good enough? Am I worthy enough to have a better business? Okay. Am I good enough or worthy enough to have a better business? Because naturally, everyone, when I ask you to write that, it's because everyone in that room wants a better business. Everyone. Even guests, even people that haven't started, want a better business, want better income, want a bigger team, want more momentum, want more retention, want more growth, want more services on the trading account, want more profits. Everyone wants more. But are we worthy of having more? I once heard a training from a man called Darren Hardy, and he said, when you're looking for even someone like, even a relationship, even when you're looking for a spouse, even when you're looking for a girlfriend or boyfriend, naturally you ask yourself, whatever the girl, whatever kind of girl I want, whatever kind of guy I want, you have to ask yourself, am I worthy of this girl? Am I worthy of this guy? And then you work towards getting yourself to that level, to that platform where you can get that person or that girl or that guy, or this area of expertise comes with experience. That's the first thing I wanted to let you guys know, is that those are the kind of questions that I wouldn't ask on stage. This is for you guys, because you guys are Platinum 1000 and above. When you're platinum 1000 and above, here's what you got to be. You got to be serious. When you want to make big money and you've hit this rank, being serious is part of the game. It's like there's a time when you can be joking around. There's a time when you can be social with your friends. There's a time when you don't have to, you can be on these Zoom calls and you don't have to really be listening, because you're not serious. You might be a P150 or you might be a custom, or you're a P600, but you deranked, or you're a P1000, but you lost your business. At that time, I can understand someone ain't serious. But when you want to make big money, you got to be serious. And I don't mean serious all the time. I mean serious for a good amount of time, not all the time. It's very different to being serious all the time. I'm not serious in the business all the time, but I'm serious the times that I need to be productive. Very important. The times that I need to be productive, I'm serious. In other times, I can be social, I can be myself, I can, speak to my friends, I can do what I need to do. But most important thing I need to understand is that if I am gonna make big money, I have to be serious for a certain amount of good time. If not, I'm never gonna reach that pinnacle level. It's the truth. Many people, you've seen it here around it. You look at all of our chairman 100s, you look at all of our chairman 50s, you look at all of the 25s. There's a time when they really, really get down to business. They're traveling, they're doing presentations, they're doing meetings, they're building a dynasty of people, they're building a culture. And I'm going to go into that with you guys on some steps that you can follow, because, Danish did ask me on what I should, go through with you guys. And I thought it's best to go through things that I would do if I was in your position. So I was, remember, you understand, I was a P1000 once. I was a P2000 once. I was a P5000. There's certain things I done that might be able to help you. And these are some of the steps I'm going to go through with you guys. Okay. So realizing that you need to be serious is key, because most people, I'll be honest with you, they think because they're in a big environment, like let's say you're in a big team in Germany, you're in a big team in Spain, you're in a big team in the UK, let's say you're part of a big team. You know what you think? When you're part of something, sometimes you can get lost in the crowd. How many of you guys understand that? When you're part of something, sometimes you can just be a number, but not a player on the field. See, fans, they're part of a movement. If I support Arsenal Football Club. If any of you guys know in the UK, Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal Football Club right now has tens of millions of fans. But would you agree, the ones that are getting paid to play, or the ones that are inside the Arsenal stadium, the ones that are in the back end doing the stuff, they're the ones that are going to have to be the most serious. They know they can't just be a number. They can't just be part of the organization. They know they have to do what needs to be done to get on that stage. So really and truly for you guys right now, especially what I saw in Germany, you guys have a massive, massive crowd, but realize that you can easily get lost in that. You can get lost in the fact that it's such a big team, it's such a big audience. And that's not just Germany, that's not just Barcelona, that was not just Europe. That's all of IM. IM has hundreds of thousands of customers. Why should you win? Ask yourself that. There's hundreds of thousands of people doing what you're doing. They're presenting the same thing you're presenting. They're training and launching on products that you're launching and training on. The same, nothing different. Everything's the same. So why is it that they should join Abel? Why is it they should join Ryan? Why is it they should join Evans? Why is it they should join Hillary? Why is it they should join Zain or Danish? Why? Because you're the best. You're the best you can be. Now, as long as you can be the best you can be, you give yourself optimum chance to win. Optimum chance. There's nothing else to it, right? The only thing you can do is be the best you can be. A boxer can only be the best he can be, and then the world titles come or they don't come. What the boxer can't look at someone else and be like, I need to box like this guy. No. You can get tips, you can get help, you can get advice, you can get coaching, but essentially you got to be the best version of yourself. Now, here's the thing. I want you to write this down. Am I going towards, on a daily basis, am I going towards the best version of myself? on a daily basis. What are the things I'm doing that's getting me to the best version of myself? And I'm not just talking about presentations or launches or prospecting or inviting or trading. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about waking up, how you make your bed, when you have breakfast, how long you're sleeping. How are you when you're at your job? How are you when you're at your house? How are you to your parents? How are you to your siblings? How are you in communication with friends today? How are you in business? How are you outside of business? How are you socially? How are you emotionally? That's why on my bio, it says all areas. You don't want to go chairman in rank. It's the lowest form of leadership, is status and rank. Lowest form. You want to go chairman in all areas. You want to be independent, not just as an independent business owner. You want to become independent in all aspects. You don't want to become dependent on anything. If you could do it yourself, isn't that better than relying on someone else to do it? Isn't driving yourself better than getting someone to drive you? Why? Because you have to wait for someone. You drive you. You have to wait for an Uber. You can drive you. Does that make sense? So it can be down to you. Now, as I share screen with you, there's certain things that I'm gonna go through, and they're only gonna be small bullet points, but I feel like they're gonna be key. Okay. I feel like they're gonna be key. Now, the first thing I want you to write down is this. This is the first thing I want you to write down. Because most people, they don't even know what they want. They're part of something that wants a certain aspect, whether that be, so let's say, for instance, when I started, David used to say, I'm so happy and grateful now that we have 100 chairmans. This is when I started, and we had about 35 chairmans when I joined the company, 35 only. Today, there's hundreds, but would you agree, for David to have that kind of vision, or that kind of slogan, or whatever that kind of affirmation, however you want to call it, would you agree that's a decision that he's made? That's not a decision that I've made. I'm just part of that decision. Does it make sense? I'm part of what he's speaking about. So Barcelona, there was many leaders that came on stage and said, look, we're going for 500 chairmans, or we're going for, we're trying to launch in 30 different countries, or we're trying to open up this service, we're trying to open up that service, and we're trying to open up travel. Here's what you have to understand, that you will go where your preference is. You will only go where your preference is. Meaning, when you wake up and you want to brush your teeth, you will brush your teeth when you want to brush your teeth, because it's your preference. If you want to brush your teeth in the morning and not do it in the evening, no one's going to tell you different. So really and truly, it's not about what's right and wrong. It's about what you prefer, and that's what you're going to do. So that's why it's so important that at any stage in your business, that decision needs to be clear. Clear. What do you want out of the business? Make a decision. That's it. That's why, because many times I do this around every year, and I do this with my leaders. Even at the end of last year, we had a great year last year. I was Hall of Fame last year. So when I met with all my leaders, I said, look, guys, in 2022, I've made a decision that we're going to do this and this and this. Now, you can decide whether you want to do it or not, but this is what I'm doing. So it's a decision personally, and then there's a vision for the team. So you have to have your own decision, and then also have a vision and decision for the team, which is more of a general decision. But you will strive towards that personal decision more than the general one. It's so important to understand this, okay? Second thing I want you to understand, that in business, as leaders, as P1000 and above, you got to think long term. You got to think long term, not just in business, like really in business, you have to think long term. Like I've just started a restaurant. I've just opened up my first restaurant, a franchise in London. I know the money that I've spent I know I'm not going to make that back in the first month. I know I'm not going to make that back in the second month. I know I'm not going to make that back in the third month. I understand it's going to be a long-term process for me making my money back and then starting to make profit. And then hopefully it carries on. So understand that no business is great without long-term strategies. None, zero. There's some businesses I can share with you right now because we're leaders. There's some businesses that have gone to Chairman 100 and then gone to zero. Gone Chairman 100 and then gone, finished. So all of you that strive for Chairman 100, don't feel like when you get there, bam, that's it, we're done. We won in this game. We finished. We're making 6 figures a month now. No. The reason why some Chairman 100s stay Chairman 100s and some Chairman 250s stay Chairman 250 and some, Chairman 50s make millions even is because they have long-term strategies, long-term thinking. Many of you on this call right now have to understand that if your team is long-term in terms of mindset, then the activity will also be long-term. They will understand that if people quit this month, next month, third month, they will understand that this is part of the process. This is what we have to go through. I remember 2018. This is true story. I was Chairman 50 in my first year. Second year, rode Chairman 50 all the way. My third year we had a company that came out in the UK, started taking all of our people, literally started offering my chairmans big money. Hey, listen, come over to our company. We'll offer you this, we'll offer you that. They're offering my chairmans, some of them were D-ranked, so they were offering them 15, 20,000 just to join. Now, if you're Chairman 10 and you've lost rank and now you're getting offered 20,000, 25,000 to join and do similar to what I am is doing, would you agree? Some people, they're going to cave, they're going to do it. So I had 5 chairmen in my team in 2019. By the end of 2019, I had 1 chairman. So 2017, 2018, took me 1 year. I went Chairman 50, top 5 chairmen. My team is booming. 2019 comes, worst year in terms of business in IM. My team just started going down month after month. But I understood. And even those guys, would you agree, if they offered my chairman's money, who else do you think they offered? Me. They offered me money too. Of course, I'm a Chairman 50 and they knew me. So they offered me first before offering my chairmans. But I understood that what was happening with IM at the time was that it was going into a good direction. And this is what you have to understand. When a company is going into a good direction, that's a choice you have to make, by the way. There's going to be a time when some companies are not going to be going into a good direction. And for me, at that time, 2019, IM was going into a good direction. It was about to launch crypto and DCX. It was about to launch HFX. So I was like, you know what? It's going to be good. Let's just see how it goes. And I had a long-term mindset. I was telling as many people that stayed, I was telling them, look, watch how 2020 is. Watch how 2020 is. Watch how we have a convention in London in 2020. After the London convention, so I had 1 chairman. 2020 came after the London convention throughout London. From London in March to the end of the year, we had 15 chairmen, 15 new chairmen in our team in 2020. Then 2021 came, which was last year. We popped another 7 chairmen, all in Africa. 6 in Nigeria, 1 in Canada. So, and all part of the African team. So you have to understand, now we have so many chairmen, but would you agree, if I had quit in 2019 because I never had long-term thinking, would I have had 21 chairmen 2 years later? Would I have made Chairman 100 money for 2 years after that? No, I probably would not have made it. I might have made money somewhere else. We don't know that. But in IM specifically, you have to think long-term. You're going to have to go through those cycles. Okay. Just like crypto. Any of you guys involved in crypto right now, you guys understand that there's going to be bears and bulls in all situations. And right now there's a massive bear, and the ones who hold out will be the ones that win long-term, because historically, everyone that's held crypto, everyone, not one person, everyone that's held crypto year after year through bear markets into bull have made profit, and not small profit, an average of 500%, average of 5x gain has been made by everyone that's held crypto through bear markets. So historically, You're meant to win. Same MLM for me, the long-term people, they naturally win. Next thing I want you guys to write down is work ethic. You guys know this is a very simple component, but people don't take it simply. It's simple, but people don't take it simply. Meaning, what kind of grind are you really doing? And you can lie to anyone, but you can't lie to yourself. Yeah, you can lie to anyone. Hey, I'm in the trenches, bro. I done these many calls. I got this many people coming to the event. Let's be honest, guys. You know how hard you work. So when I asked you that question in the beginning, do I deserve or am I worthy of a better business? This is the kind of component I want you to look at. What's my work ethic like? Because in my job as a personal trainer, I remember I used to wake up and I used to work from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. From 10 a.m. I used to be in the gym. I used to leave the gym at 10 p.m. I never even had clients all the way through. I would have clients maybe 4 or 5 hours. The rest of the 5-6 hours, I'll just be in the gym. I'll be speaking to people. I'll be making connections. I'll be trying to get new clients. I'll be working out. I knew that if I went home, I wouldn't want to come back to the gym. I'll get lazy. So I'll try and stay in the gym all day. Could you imagine if I done I Am Mastery Academy for 10, 12 hours a day like that, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., where my business would be right now? This is why your work ethic it can be the same correlation of how your job is, how you are as a student in university, how you are as a person in your relationship. How much time do you commit to these operations? Work ethic is key. Okay. Next thing, which is super important, is coachability. Okay. All of you on this call right now, any kind of ego that you somehow get over time will be the reason why most organizations fail. Politically, is most teams fall not because of momentum or because of volume or because of D rank. Most organizations fall because of what he said and what she said. Politics. So to keep out of politics, you need to have no ego. To have no ego, you need to be coachable. Not just coachable to your upline. This is very important. Not just coachable to your upline, coachable to members of the community. Meaning that even if someone is in your team and they have a suggestion, you have to be coachable towards that. Sometimes there's people on my team that might say something to me, and because I'm a chairman 100 and they're like P1000, I might say, oh, bro, but you're P2000. What do you know? But I have to be the kind of person to be like, oh, that makes sense. We won't do it this time, but I like the fact that you've asked me. Keep the suggestions coming. That's why being coachable is not just about, people feel like when you're coachable, you just have to be coachable to your mentor. Oh yeah, no, he tells me what to do, I do it. Someone else is not my mentor, or someone in my team tell me what to do, I ain't gonna do it. No, coachable to the community means that it's not about who said it, it's about what's been said. Very important. It's not about who said it, it's about what's been said. If I said a quote and you said wow, and someone else on your team said the same quote and you never said wow, that just means that you have pride. You're prideful. Just because of who said it, you have a different reaction. That's why it's very important to understand what's being said, not who it's being said by. Okay? Coachability, very important. Next, in your own time, you don't have to do this right now. In your own time, I want you to start rating yourself 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 on different aspects. And these are the kind of aspects I'm talking about. Number one, when it comes to ranking up, because this is what Donna said to me. Donna said to me, what kind of advice can you give about ranking up? And these are 5 steps I'll give you before we finish, before we go into maybe a small Q&A if we have time. But these are the 5 steps that I'll give you guys to only ranking up. Now, this is, again, it's the smallest form of leadership. So don't feel like this is, after I do this, I'm going to win. This is just if you want to rank up, okay? First thing you have to understand, you have to write this down. What gets added into your life by achieving your next rank? So everyone has a why, right? Everyone has a reason. See that why and that reason, that might be a bit long term. But I need you to be very specific. What gets added into your life by your next immediate rank? So even if you've D rank right now, so if you're P600 or you're P1000, let's say I'm a P1000. I know that when I was P2000, I could pay my rent with P2000. When I was P2000, I could pay my rent. My rent, I had a 2-bedroom apartment, me and my wife. We never had kids yet. So I knew that 2-bedroom apartment, I knew $2,000 is what I needed. If I drop rent from $2,000 to $1,000, I can't pay for rent. So my wife, she has to work. So do you understand that what gets added into my life by achieving the next rank is specific? It's not like, because my main goal, my why was to retire my mom. But would you agree the next rank ain't gonna help me retire my mom? P2000 ain't gonna help me do that. But P2000 gonna clear my rent. It's gonna keep my rent going. That's why that rank is important. Because internally, the fight is internal, not external. Okay? So important. The fight is internal, not external. So what gets added into your life by achieving your next rank? First. Second, what is the blueprint? Les Brown says that anyone in this business who's hungry can't win. If you're hungry and you have a strategy, then only you can win. So if you're hungry, if you're fired up, if you're excited, but you have no strategy, guess what? You're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. Can you imagine? I'm fired up to go to a football match. Let's just say I'm going to drive to the football match. I'm fired up. I've got the shirt on. I'm excited. I get into my car. I don't know the way. I don't know the GPS. Could you imagine? I'm excited. I'll just be driving everywhere. I have no way of getting there. So the blueprint is the GPS, is how you're going to get there. So you have to make a plan and stick to it for your next rank. Whatever. I'll give you an example. My blueprint when I was chairman 10 to go chairman 25 was very simple. My blueprint as a chairman 10 was just to promote P2000s. That was it. So you as a P1000 to go P2000, your blueprint might be, okay, you know what? I want to promote P150s. That's the only thing I want to do right now is help people enroll free customers. Help people enroll. I don't care about how many people join my team. I don't care about, how many people are trading. I don't care about how many trainings are going on. I don't care about how many people come to events. My goal is to go into my existing team or any new people that come in and help them go P150. That's basically a blueprint that you can set. You can do that. You can do that for 90 days. You can do that for 60 days, wherever you feel best. Third thing. Third thing is time blocking. What does time blocking mean? Time blocking basically means that, like I said before, you don't have to work all the time. You just have to work in segments. So for example, let me give you an example. If I went to the gym, and if anyone goes to the gym, you know what I'm talking about. If you trained twice a week, that's 2 hours. Let's say you train for 1 hour a day, twice a week. That's 2 hours a week. If you trained like that all year, you would have done, in 1 month, you would have done 8 hours. 8 times 12 for the year is 98 hours. 98 hours. In 1 year, you done 98 hours of training. Now, let me give you another example. Let's say instead of doing a year, you only trained 6 months. You never trained a year. You trained 6 months only. In that 6 months, you never trained 2 days. You now trained 4 days. You now halved your time and you doubled your work. Now you train 4 days. 2 hours became 4 hours. Now you do 4 hours a week. 4 hours in 6 months, that's 4, 8, 12, 16. You've done 16 hours per month. That's 98 hours. Same hours, but you've just done them in 6 months. Would you agree your results after 6 months will be bigger and better than if you had done the same hours for 1 year? Because all you've done is you've compacted your time into a smaller window. Because when you have a compound effect, you can do it all the way through the year. So, for example, if you've done one presentation a day, you might feel like you've done a lot of work. After the year, you said, I've done 2 presentations a week. After a month, I've done 8. After a year, I've done 98 presentations. Now, if you've done that in 6 months, you'd have done more presentations per week, same amount of time in that 6 months. And in those 6 months, you would have got a much better analysis. Why? Because you've done more work in that time. This is why it's so important to not worry about how long you've done something. It's about how much you've done and how long you've done it. It doesn't matter about how long you've done something. If I sit here on this chair for a whole day, it don't mean that I've done work. It's about what I've done in this chair while I'm doing the work. If I sit on this chair and I'm going around, I'm scrolling, I'm doing this, I'm on my phone, I'm chatting to my friend, I'm speaking, I'm chilling, I'm socializing, and I ain't serious. And after 3 months, I'm like, yeah, man, I've been doing the business for 3 months. Well, really, have you been doing the business for 3 months, or have you been in the business for 3 months? Very different. See, being in the business 3 months, it means your account is open. Just like your gym. The account is open 1 year, but how many times have you gone? Twice a week? That means you missed 5 days a week. That's what that means. Doesn't mean you've done 2 days. It means you missed 5 days. Because whatever's more, it powers up. If you've done 4 days a week, now you've missed 3 days. You're doing more than less. Okay, that's why time blocking is important. That's why people do 90-day game plans. People do not, like me, I do a 90-day game plan every now and so. So every year, maybe I might choose 3 months, I'll go hard. I don't have to work hard again for the rest of the year. I can work smart for the rest of the year. If you do a good 90 days, a proper 90 days, you don't have to work. You might do a good 6 months even, but if you do a really good 90 days, you don't even have to do 6 months. Imagine having 3 months work and 9 months holiday. How many of you guys would enjoy that? 3 months work, 9 months chill. That's what people do in MLM. Some people do January, February, March, convention, and then after that, full leverage. There's people that are trading right now that wake up in the morning, they trade at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. The rest of the day, take it off. They only trade in the mornings. There's people that do that. And they make enough money than those people that trade all day. Time blocking. Number 4, top-down recruiting. Top-down recruiting means that you're finding people who are more influential than you. Finding people who are bigger than you in terms of influence, maybe in terms of networking, maybe great if they are more in terms of experience. You know, it could be any one of those things. Most people, here's what they do. They down top recruit. So if people are doing less than you, they're easy to recruit because they see you as the influence. You know what I'm saying? So if someone's broke and you got a little bit of money, then you're inspiring to that broke guy. But if you want broke people in your team ain't gonna be going that long, is there? If you got a bunch of broke people, they ain't gonna pay membership every single month. So try to recruit top down. Try to find people who are more influential than you, more, like I said, more followers, maybe more on social media, maybe more experience, maybe had more MLM background. Okay, maybe older than you, maybe have more money than you. Okay, very important, top-down recruiting. And then you track and tweak. Last thing, you track and tweak. How many of you guys understand that if you don't track your business, you can't grow your business? Because if you can't track something, how are you going to grow it? How are you going to make it better? Do you know scientists, they track. That's how they're able to give you COVID virus. Even though we don't know what's going on in your body, but they can track it based upon how well it's done for something else and how well it's going to do for you. If they didn't track it, how will you know? When you jumped on the airplane, did someone test that airplane before you? When you jump on, you guys go to like theme parks. Of course, in Germany, there's theme parks like roller coasters. rides. Would you agree those rides and those roller coasters, they're tested before you get on? If they just said, hey, bro, you're going to be the first one, go check it out. You're going to be like, no, bro, it's okay, man. You can go first. Why? Because it ain't been tracked. If there's a problem with the ride and you went on it first, you're going to be like, man, why wasn't this tested? Here's the thing. We love things that are tested, but we hate to be the ones to test it. We love it that it's tested, but we hate to be the ones to test it. Why? Because then we're in risk. But realize that once you test it, you can tweak it. You can find out what's missing and you can fix it. So that's how you become solution oriented, by fixing those tweaks. Okay, very, very important. Now, hopefully that made sense to you guys regarding ranking up specifically, because at the end of the day, when it comes to ranking up in this business, and I want to be honest with you, my focus point has never been to rank up. My focus point has always been, how many people can I help rank up, which will ultimately make me rank up. Because if I only think about me ranking up, what happens is that you start getting too obsessed and too desperate about your rank, and you forget about others. So we have about 10 minutes, Danish. What we'll do is, just because I've done a training that's quite general, so if there's anyone that has any questions, you can write on the chat, and I'll take a few questions before we wrap up, and I'll give it back over to Danish. So if you have any questions, could be about anything, could be about the business, could be about the company, could be anything. We'll finish off in 10 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, write it on the chat. If there's anything that didn't make sense from the training, you can write on the chat. Any questions about what I spoke about, you can write on the chat. Okay. Let me just see if I can load up the chat in front of me. Okay, I'll let a few questions come on, and then I'll answer the ones that I feel like you guys need to hear the most. Okay. Okay, so first person who's the Chairman 500, Abel Chairman 500, said, what separates the good from the great? There's a book. It's good that you asked me that. There's a book that we've been speaking about in our millionaire chat. Where is it? Where is that chat? It's called Good to Great. My advice, read that book. Or if you do audio, then get the audio. Good to Great. Okay, it's by Jim Collins. Good to Great. There's a big difference to good to great, meaning many people in the business will end up being good, but the separation from being good to great is what separates legacy to rank, meaning that they'll be known as someone who achieved the rank, or they'll be known as someone who created legacy. You want to be someone who don't just hit a rank, you create a legacy along the way. Why? Because that legacy will live on after you're done. Even whatever business you go into later, because of what you've created, you will have a network that will follow you, that will be with you, and that will create a network for you. This is why they say network is your network, because those are legacy creators. And that's why that book, Good to Great, it's amazing. So David told us about that. We've been reading it since then. Okay. Hope that helps. How much time a day do you spend in your business? Again, it's quality over quantity. It's not about how much time you spend, it's about what time you spend doing what you need to do. So I would spend myself now about 4 to 6 hours a day maximum. Okay, no more than 4 to 6 hours. Of course, when we have event days, it's longer, but 4 to 6 hours. Look, it's all about how you time manage yourself. If you time manage the right way, you'll be okay. Okay, let me see if I got any. How would you combine your business? I have the same efficiency if I make team ranking up isn't it? Okay, so someone asked a really good question here. Let me take this question. If I mainly focus on my team, ranking up isn't isn't it easy to fall into manager mode? Very important. When you're focusing on helping your team ranking up, you're not doing anything that you wouldn't do if you was in phase one, if you were recruiting. The only difference is that you're doing it with selective people. You're selecting people based on what time they deserve, not what time they want. Everyone wants help. Everyone wants support, but who deserves your time? Who deserves your help? This is what you have to ask yourself right now. Who in my team really wants my time? Probably a lot of people, but who deserves my time? And then your list becomes smaller. And that small list is who you work with, because those are the people that are going to put people in front of you when you have your meeting. Those are the people that are going to influence themselves into getting into that P150, that P1000, that rank that you want to focus on. So that's what I did. When I never ever felt like I was managing, I was doing the same thing. Is that I was working with selected people. So I wasn't telling anyone what to do. Generally, I was working with selected group. Okay. How do you become a king or a queen maker? First, become a king or a queen. Okay. You can't create kings and queens if you're not a king and a queen yourself. Okay, you can't create what you're not. Okay, very important. Can't create a P1000 if you're not. Can't create a P2000 if you're not. If it happened in your team without you, if it happened in your team and it's you're a rank below it, then realize that it happened organically without you. It could have happened without you anyways. How can I work with the 20% without forgetting the AE? How can I reach the biggest personal development? Sure. Okay, we'll take 3 more questions, guys. Okay. Trying to see which ones are the ones that I didn't speak about in my training that you guys can use. How can I reach the biggest personal development, and how did you reach yours? Like, what was the biggest impact on your personality? Oh, good question. So when it comes to personal development, I would think that my advice is take about 30 minutes or an hour out of your day. Every day, take out 30 minutes to an hour and just listen to something that's going to help you grow in the context of what you're doing. In the context of, so don't just read any book. Don't just listen to any audio. In the context of what you're doing, meaning if someone asked about good to great, if their transition is to go from good to great, they'll read that book by Jim Collins. It has to be specific to what you're doing today. So I would do about 30 minutes to an hour a day, every day. And that will help me stay in the right mind frame. There's so many distractions in this world today. Social media is a massive distraction. Relationships are a distraction. Family is a distraction. These are all sides to business, right? Even business itself in some portions can be distractive, because if you're doing, let's say for instance, if you want to get work done and all your teams are doing is trainings every day, trainings. Remember, trainings are not productive. They're active. So right now, what we're doing right now, it's not productive. It's active, meaning that this ain't gonna make you money. This is gonna help you make money. Okay. It's like cutting a tree. If you want to cut a tree, you're gonna have to chop it down. But this is not about cutting the tree. This is about sharpening the axe. So right now, you're just sharpening, you're getting your better swing, but cutting the tree, you only get the only way you cut the tree is 2 ways. One, trading. Second, enrolling customers. That's it. Nothing else. There's nothing else you can do to make money in IM Mastery Academy. If you talk good, you look good, you go to events, you go to trainings, you're on your social media, you got a lot of followers. I know people right now that have 1 million followers, but they ain't got $1 million. You can have 1 million followers, but what's that gonna give you? So really important, the results is what we're chasing. Enrolling a customer, putting in a trade. That's the only way you're gonna make money. So if those are the only 2 productive things you can do, okay, everything else is active. Second question out of the 3. What is a question you would ask your mentor? That's a good question. That is a question I would ask my mentor. What is a question you ask a mentor? I would say anything. Because the mentor is not someone who just focuses on business. A mentor is someone that can help you with life situations. You know, I speak to David about things outside of the business, you know, whether that be investments outside of the business, whether that be my life situations. Like he tells me some stuff that, you know, no one really knows apart from his like close people. So I would say having conversations with your mentor consistently is super important. Now, who is a mentor? That's a bad question. Who is a mentor? Here's who a mentor is. Because some of you, I'm sure, are looking or have probably, you probably have one, but you don't know if it's the right one. Or you have a few, you don't know whether they should be your mentors or not. Here's how you establish whether someone is your mentor or not. If you was in their position, you would want to be like them. That's how you know they're your mentor. If you was in their position, you would want to be like them, how they carry themselves, how they speak, how they train, who they are, how they dress, how they look. You would want to be exactly how they are if you was in their position. That's what a mentor is. Does it make sense? So when I see someone like, not to name any names, but there's certain chairman 250s, there's certain chairman 500s, there's certain chairman 750s. When I see them, I know they're making a lot of money. I respect them. When they say something, I listen. But because I don't see myself being like them, when I'm in their position, or if I was in their position, I wouldn't take them to my heart. Does it make sense? Whatever they tell me, I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, that's good. I'll try it. But it's not something I'll take with me. What I'll take with me will be from the person that I see myself like if I was in their position. Does it make sense? That's who your mentor is. Now, another thing, you don't have to know your mentor. You just have to follow them. So important. People have indirect mentors. They're, like Alex and Bob Proctor. Alex was following Bob Proctor before Alex knew Bob Proctor. So he had called Bob Proctor his mentor before he had personally knew him. Those are called indirect mentors. People that you follow without them even knowing you. Does it make sense? For example, in Islam, none of you personally know, if you're a Muslim, none of you know the Prophet, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You don't know him personally, but you follow him. Does it make sense? You see him as a, you might see him as a mentor. You might follow his teachings. You follow what he's done, good or bad, whatever it might be. You would follow that aspect of what he's done, but you don't know him. You didn't spoke to him. Does it make sense? He ain't on the phone to you telling you what to do. There's no credibility behind saying I know him. The credibility is behind you knowing him and following him, because that's who you strive to be like. Does it make sense? So important to understand that. Last question. How do I manage private life? That's a good question too. Okay. How do you manage private life and business, right? To not be distracted. When you're focusing on business, do the business. When you're focusing on personal, do the personal. I know there's some people on this call right now. While they're on this call, they're still not focused. They're still in their personal zone. Even though this call is business, but they're in their personal zone. And those are the people that are going to be constantly distracted. Constantly. Because they're never here nor there. They're never here nor there. Even momentum. You know them guys that have momentum, but they're still not, their volume is still not growing high. You know why that happens? Because they have momentum everywhere. Momentum everywhere is momentum nowhere. See, momentum can only be specific in one area. It's like fire. If I had a road of fire, it's not going to be making everyone warm along the way. If I had one massive bricks of fire and it goes higher, that is when it gets everyone warm in that area. But if I had one string of fire all the way through, it's not going to help all of us here because the string goes over down there. That's everywhere. Same with water. Water's in a bottle because it's in proportion. It's there for you to drink. If water was on the table for you to drink, it will be everywhere. You won't be able to drink it. It's a bottle for a reason, so it can easily be consumed. Same thing happens in business. You yourself understand that distractions are everywhere, but at the same time, you let yourself go into the distraction. The distraction is a choice. It's not, hey, bro, I got a gun to your head. Leave the meeting right now. Go and party. No, it's a choice. So all distractions are down to us. All business is down to us. And we choose whatever we want to do. So my advice to you is do what makes you happy. Hey, listen, if you like going out and playing football instead of going to a meeting, go play football, man. That's what you want to do. If you like going to the business because you want to achieve certain goals and dreams that you have, there ain't nothing wrong or bad or good or nothing. There's simply what you give is what you get. The last thing I want you to do is after 6 months, 1 year, complain about what you ain't got when you ain't given enough. This is what a lot of people do in IM. People be like, oh man, I've been here 6 months. I've been here 1 year. I've been here 2 years. I ain't hit chairman yet. Have you given enough? And if you have and you haven't, then, that's something you have to look at yourself at and say, you know what, is this for me? And like I said to you, it's not going to be for everyone. I'm so blessed and humbled today that it's been a great success for me, but there's many people that joined at the same time as me. They've probably been in the business same time as me. They haven't achieved the success I have. Everyone's going to have a different journey. All right. So we have to read the writing on the wall. I remember being in university, many people graduated. I didn't. When I was in my final year, my lecturer said to me, Zain, you're not doing so well. You're failing. So you have to read the writing on the wall. You guys ever heard that saying? Read the writing on the wall. That basically means, bro, you need to quit because you suck. That's what he was telling me, but he just didn't tell me that because he couldn't tell me because he's my lecturer. But that's what he's saying to me. He said, bro, look, you're failing right now. You're in your final year. You're distracted because you're doing, I had a job in the gym, which I was making some money. So I wasn't doing well. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm not quitting something that's not for me. Does that make sense? If it's not for me, it's a waste of my time. So someone might say, oh, but Zain, you quit uni. Well, no, I didn't quit. It wasn't mine. So how can I quit it? If it was mine and it was meant to be for me and, I could got it, I would have stayed. But it was nothing for me to even stay on. It's like if I'm holding a rope and the rope is burning my hand and they say, bro, don't quit. But the rope is burning my hand. Why am I going to hold this thing, man? I'm done. So important to understand that reading the writing on the wall is the term they use to make you understand that sometimes you have to zoom out and see things like, you know what? This might have worked for 1,000 people, but maybe it's not my cup of tea. Maybe it's not for me. And that you might be wrong or you might be right, but your instinct most of the time, they don't lie. You know when it's going to be good for you long term. Okay. And if this is the place, then I wish you all the best of luck. I know for sure it's an amazing place to make money. I know for sure that it's been a game changer for a lot of people around the world. So it can be for you as well. So I'll pass it back over to Dan. It's been great speaking to you guys. You guys are great. P1000 above. I can't wait to see you guys on stage in the coming months, years. Dubai is going to be amazing. I'm actually relocating to Dubai in the winter. I'm just waiting for my house as it's getting built, but it's exciting. It's exciting times to be in this environment where you can actually learn and grow from leaders that you want to learn and grow from. Many people in other industries, they don't have access to guys that they want to work with and learn from all the time. But the fact that you guys have access with Danish, and I know there's many great leaders in Germany with Maurice and Marvin, etc. And Jan's a really, really cool guy. So I'm very excited about what you guys are doing. I'm probably I can, if I have time and Jan wants me there. He did tell me about an event that you guys are planning in Frankfurt. So hopefully if my schedule is clear and and you guys have a schedule open, then I should be there in person. But I'll pass it back over to Danish, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Stay focused, stay serious, don't mess about. This ain't a game. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Wow. Zain, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate you very, brother. Thank you. Drop mal alle eine 7 in den Chat von Mr. Zain Khan. Ja, Mr. Zain Khan. He was in the building. Ja, er hat, denke ich mal, jeden einzelnen von euch wirklich Dinge mitgegeben. Zeigt ihn lieber auf Insta. Ja, ihr seht seinen Insta-Namen, Zain.Khan. Und ja, Leute, das war es eigentlich auch schon mit dem Call. Und ich sage euch auch,